Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Night Creeper number 121 in the line. And as you can see, he has two heads, and as you can see back there, I have a second one. Why? Because if you have two heads, that means you have two different figures. So we're going to review this. I'm going to have two of them. You can also see back there, we're going to review it to the original O-ring figure, and we're also going to kind of take a quick look at the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie. It was like a 5.5 small 6-inch. It does fit in with the line. It was a $10 figure. It was Night Creeper. It wasn't in the movie, but hell, you know, they gave it to us. We picked it up. It was cheap anyway. So we're going to take a look at this. We're finally back to this packaging. This is what we're doing now, okay? Some people like it. I think it's very bland. The box is really nice. It's a sturdy box, but no one cares about the box because you can open these up and play with them, right? So there we have the wonderful figure. Unfortunately, I got a nice glare there. You can see the two different head sculpts. You can see his iconic crossbow along with his weird wavy sword. G.I. Joe, there's your Cobra logo. 121 on the box. The awesome artwork, which we do get. Then we have his, what is considered a file card, and the QR code to hell. It may not lead to hell anymore. I actually haven't looked at it in quite some time. Maybe we'll do that before the next review, which you might see sitting right around there. That one might be coming tomorrow. Anyway, there is the awesome photography. Get a couple shots of what you're going to get. So anyway, let's get into this because I've been waiting for these figures, man. We've all been waiting for more Joes, and it feels like it's been a long time. So before we do, if you like this type of content, if you like G.I. Joe, and I give you lots of G.I. Joe content, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classified video. Now let's get to this. Okay, so we got this one Night Creeper out of his plastic prison. We'll take a look at everything that he comes with first. So, first off, we'll start with the crossbow. It is his iconic crossbow with the 4 arrows going across, and the 4 bolts going across. Someone will yell at me. And then obviously we have a second one, an independent one that we can put down the middle. I can feel it. It is much, how are they going to make us say this? Much stiffer than what we've gotten previously in the past, which is good. It still has flexibility to it, but it has a way more rigid, but not hard feeling to it. And again, there's no good way to say that. All right, the arrows here are kind of soft at the bolts, and the tips are a little soft. Again, no matter what I say, it's going to come off wrong. Pliable stock on the back, but it stays straight, and that's all that matters. So looking at this detail here, I think this looks really good. It's got a second handle here, so it's easy to hold it like this. There's Roman. All right. So I don't think we have any issues with that. And since we have it out, let's just see if we pick up this bolt. We can just kind of put it right in there without any issues. And if you want to make it look like it's shooting, I believe you can even make it look like it's starting to shoot because it has a small little clip right there, if you can see that. So, and it seems to stand pretty nice, so that's good. I'm going to pop it off for a second. So here we have the backpack, and I believe this is an all-new sculpt of the backpack. So I know this is new, because it is different than this one, and we're going to take a look at that one also. We'll compare them. The arrows are soft and pliable. If you look right here, the bolts, the ends are pliable. And now we can take this one here, and you can see there's a little clip there. I believe we can just kind of clip that right in there. And it looks to be the exact same length, so you can't even tell. So that looks really nice on it. All right. You can see there's going to be, there's 2 other pegs, so I'm assuming something's going to peg on in there. got a place for one sword and then the other sword. No paint apps on this, but you do have some rope at the bottom. Just a nice quick look at it. And if I can grab this one, you can see it only had spots for one. Didn't have any place for the arrows. It does have the rope at the top. It looks like he has little claws there, which they don't show there. And maybe these are supposed to be small little bolts. They didn't always size things up the exact same way, but you can tell this backpack is it's pretty close to being what it is. Actually, it goes like this because you have the bedroll up on the top. All right, and then you have that, and I almost feel like it was supposed to come with something that it didn't. But we'll see if anything goes up there. I wonder if this thing. Look at that. I think that plugs in up here. Look at that. So the crossbow is going to plug into the backpack. So you'll be able to keep everything on his person. And I don't know if anyone else pointed that out because I haven't watched any reviews because I didn't really want to be surprised on this. All right. So we have this sword, which was this. Never understood these swords. Matter of fact, I picked up this figure just under a year ago on the way back from Disney World. So that's supposed to represent that sword. Now looking at it here, oh wow, this is just, all right, all the mean things that I've said about their plastic and not thinking they're going to change, if this is what they're going to use, I am absolutely perfect with it. Look at that. So it straightens back up. That's as much as I can flex it. It feels good. End of story. All right, so you got the silver blade. Looks really nice. All right. And then I'm assuming that this is the actual color of the plastic that is molded in. And then we're going to get this one here. Again, same feel to it. This represents this sword. Again, I don't understand these swords. I don't know if they're real. Matthew Matson, please feel free to let me know if these are real ninja swords. Oh wait, ninjas aren't real. So you can tell that the blade they tried to recreate. Now, obviously, they made this look more like shark fins, where this just looks like. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna say what it looks like. You guys can figure that one out. Wow. The handle is different. These handles were always super small, but it is very reminiscent of what they did. All right. Then we're going to get these blades. So we have these curved blades. God, so much more stiffer. And then they have a little hole here. So I assume you could put some sort of rope on it. You can use it to kind of toss it out and throw it. Maybe like a chain or something. They're both the exact same. We have two hands, which we've seen before, with snake eyes. Either snake eyes? I think these are snake eyes, actually. I believe Storm Shadows were a little bit different. I might be wrong. But it does have the little claw on the inside here. So you can use that for climbing. And here you have the throwing star. And then we have the secondary head, which was, if I remember, and I never had it, was for the Night Creeper version 2. It kind of has the Cylon look right there. Nice rivets. I guess it's the treads that were on the... yeah, the ferret. This kind of looks like you get ran over by it. The mask has a little bit of paint to it. But all in all, that looks good. Now let's take a look at our figure. Now, I probably should have, since we looked at everything else and I didn't really think of it. Here is the original crossbow, which is almost the exact same size. So you could probably use the original with it if you wanted to. And you can see how it had the 4 bolts that were just ready that you could reuse. This one obviously looks way better. but they did recreate the look of it as best as I would say they could. Now let's take a look at this figure, and I'm excited to get this figure. I never had any need for it when I was younger. It was towards the end of my time of collecting. So quickly we'll take a look at the articulation. So his head can only go up so far and down so far due to this piece that's around it. He can look side to side. Gets a T-pose pretty nicely. You have these pauldrons on top. There's your bicep swivel. I'm sorry. There's your bicep swivel. Double pinless joints. Your wrist articulation. No issues here. Move side to side. He does have the diaphragm cut that I know a lot of people like. And I'll be honest, this looks really good on him because it hides almost everything. Like, you can't even tell he really has one if you're not looking. Although he doesn't really turn that much at the waist. So that's really only the waist articulation you're going to get. But you can turn the body there. All right. There is his Jean-Claude Van Damme, his drop-down hips. You got his thigh cut, double pinless joints on the knees, boot cut, and then you have your ankle articulation, which is going to be really good for a ninja. All right, so let's get into how this guy looks. So quickly, I'm not seeing any issues with the paint, and I gotta say, from what we've seen recently, Hasbro has really stepped it up. I don't know what it was about the factories that they were doing it. If because of COVID, they didn't have guys over there, project managers over there making sure that things looked good. But man, this is a night and day look from what we had. So black looks good around the mask along with the silver. Same color up here. It really does look like it is a soft goods that's on it. It would be nice if it was soft goods, but we understand that that just cuts into your budget and it would be kind of difficult. You have your armor, which is the same silver. So there's not a lot of detail to it, but it's, in my opinion, what it's supposed to be. Arms are pretty plain. You got the camouflage right down here, which is some sort of gauntlet, I would say. Here we have his belt. That little bit of silver buckle right there just really makes a figure pop. Here's where you're going to store his knives. You got the camouflage running all the way down. He's got the shin guards that kind of rise up pretty nicely. And then you got the toe cut, which is always, I think as a kid we always thought that there was so they could put throwing stars. They were called Chinese stars back then, but we don't want to offend anyone, and they could use their toes. I don't think that's what they were really for. All right, let's take a look and compare them to this original O-ring Night Creeper, and I gotta say, this one, well, mine just looks way better. All right, but he has the same type of weird goggles. They don't protrude out, which I'm perfectly fine with. This one looks more like his, like the mask that he has over it. Looks more like he's in a sandstorm. It's got the silver on top. And it's when you look at the detail on the O-rings that you kind of realize, oh, okay, this looks more like it's something from the Middle East. That's why. I mean, this looks like something, the headgear they wear in the Middle East. All right, so you can see the straps don't go down all the way. On the front, it's just that basic armor. Now, I like the way this one looks. It's cut a little bit better, so it looks more. It looks more real. Like you'd have these plates here, but you can still move the body to move more like a ninja. Camouflage, I thought they did a little bit better job masking it, but again, you can only do so much back in the 80s. So boots are very similar. They recreated them pretty nicely. Now here, did he have knives? So it looks like he had, oh no, those are just part of the belt. So they just added the knives, perfectly fine with that. So let's take a look at this guy. quickly. I won't spend too much time. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could probably pick one up for 10 bucks. That's what they used to be. They don't have articulation in the feet, just the knees, the arms, and you can see here they're a little bit shorter, but they do fit pretty nicely. They're slimmer. You could say, hey, you know what? They're ones in training. But quickly, when you look at the two, they kept the same overall looking armor. Even the pauldrons, I guess I kind of forgot to point out, pauldrons do move up and down, so they're pliable. The masks look very similar. I actually like both colors, to be honest. Like around here where it's supposed to be fabric. And then you even have, so the boots are definitely different. They didn't put any camouflage on, but even the way this kind of hangs down, it matches what we had here. So now let's swap the heads off, and that head popped off nice and easy. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, so this does not come off. So you have this harder head along with this pliable overlay on it, and that's where you're going to get the fabric. So I'm assuming if you really wanted to, if you were a customizer, if you're in the toy enhancer, you could probably cut across here and then add some purple fabric to this without taking off the headband here that holds it on. Then we're going to throw on this one, the more Cylon looking one. And it definitely does give it a different look. I actually like the other one better. This one actually looks like he's supposed to be in the desert, if you ask me. He looks kind of like that creature from Enemy Mine. If you remember that, Lou Gossett Jr. At least from in my mind right now. So that is how the other one looks. I don't really like it all that much. I will definitely keep it on one of the figures, and that's why I bought two of them. But hell, I might even swap it around because I just really like the way this mask looks. I think he might actually have another one coming, to be honest. So we're going to throw this on here, and then let's arm him up and see how it goes. So you can see how it fits around the back. Now sometimes these pegs are a little bit too short, so when they go in, they don't really fit all that well. If they do, just take a little bit of sticky tack, and I mean a little bit of sticky tack. Just kind of plug it right there, push that in. If you use too much, it just kind of squirts all over the place. That's what she said. We got the knives. They're going to go in there like that. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this down here is for. It almost looks like you could slide the swords in down here if you really wanted to. No, you can't. They take up too much space. So it looks like there's supposed to be something to go there. But, all right. So we're going to kind of... Now, I don't really like using using this style where it's just using pressure to hold these on. That's the wrong sword. But actually it makes sense. You kind of have to. Now when I look at especially this one, you kind of have to use it, so it just uses pressure to hold that on. So, make sure we get the right crossbow. Gonna throw this thing on here. How well can he fire this thing? He can pose this pretty damn well. Now these do have butterfly shoulders. Unfortunately, I don't think the Classify line does a real good job with their butterfly joints. And when you start posing stuff, sometimes it becomes a problem that things start falling off. So how easily can we get this to stand? Well, this is not going to be the best firing position, that is for sure. But easy enough to get him to stand with the backpack on, which is fairly heavy, to be honest. All right. Pose the figure first, then start putting the swords in his hands. Now, what does this one look like on him? Because I really like this one. I like this crossbow, the way that it looks. Oh, I actually forgot to show this one off. So I really like this crossbow. I love the handle so you can carry it around. I like the idea of having the two swords right here. So, hell, you might want to change it up if you have one. As a matter of fact, I think that's actually what I might do, is throw this crossbow on one of the other, the different head sculpt, just to change it up. But grab it by his hand, put it by there, and once again, pose the figure fairly easily. How do the swords look on his hand? Well, let's throw these on quickly. This backpack really does make things kind of bounce around. I keep wanting to grab the wrong swords. All right. So there we go with the swords. Now again, if you're watching this and you're asking the question like, hey, why is this guy taking so much time? Why is he doing it like this? If you're new to the channel, I like to show you what it's like to pose a figure, what it looks like out of the box. Is it going to be hard to pose? Are you going to have to sit there and fight with it? Well, now you're kind of getting the idea of how hard or easy it may be to pose the figure. Because a lot of people have some wonderful poses. They do wonderful reviews. The problem is, how long did it take them to get into that pose? Is it something you had to fight with? Well, here I'm kind of trying to show you if it's difficult or not. All right? So, no problems there. Now let's swap out the hands quickly. How easy are these hands to pop out? Well, they seem very pliable now. Wow, that's long. I know, that's what she said. But, wow, that is way longer than a lot of the old hands, that's for sure. Look at that, man, that is. But it pops in and it comes out nice and easy. This is going to move back and forth, so now you can have them either karate chopping someone. I just love saying that. I think karate people get really mad. Or you can have them climbing something. You can have them smacking Robin and actually, marking up his face. You want your throwing star. Holy crap. It feels weird how long this is. But it moves nice and smooth all the way, and then you can hear where it pops in. So the rivet that holds that thing in has to be right around here, where it used to be up further. So what I'm doing, getting ready to throw a throwing star, and have his karate chop hand. There you go. No problems at all. So there you go. That is your Night Creeper, and I like this figure. Just firsthand, it feels so nice. Really good. All right, let's wrap it up. Okay, so my final first thought on this figure is awesome. I never had one as a kid, as I mentioned earlier in the video, but man, the plastic feels really good on this. The weapons feel really good. It feels like they've moved to another factory, or who knows what it is, but the sculpt on it is really good. The paint looks good. You can pose him in wonderful poses, as you can see right here. But I am thoroughly happy with this, and I could see this one as an army builder just challenging for figure of the year with the classified line. It's just really good. I can't really express enough the two different head sculpts, so you're able to have different figures, multiple weapons, and at a $25 price point, which I know a lot of people have a problem with, but that's today and age, man. This is what we do. So if you like it, go ahead, grab this bad boy. It's pretty damn sweet. All right, so that is my review of the, let me straighten this again, the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Night Creeper. And I gotta say, I was never a fan of this figure. Again, it was at the end of my time. I just picked one up last year. And I liked the way it looked when I saw it. In hand, this is a really, really good figure. Everything I kind of pointed out that Lenny had talked about, how the weapons will become stiffer, they won't be nearly as pliable, they're never going to be really hard, let's say like a Valaverse, a NECA, Mythic Legion, something like that, because they are for 4 and up. This figure feels really good. Like, this is something I feel like maybe I could give to a kid to play with. You're going to lose all his weapons and his accessories because that's what kids do. But I do like this. So anyway, check it out. If you're interested, I will post in the description links to Entertainment Earth, Amazon, and Hella Dope Toys, as long as they are all available there. It does help support the channel. If you click those links in order there, I do appreciate it. But I'm going to get out of here. I've given you a lot of, you've given me a lot of your time. I didn't give you too much of my time. You gave me a lot of your time. I definitely do appreciate it. If you're on the socials, A Punk with Toys on Instagram, hit that subscribe button. We've just grown over 1,100 subscribers. Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Last but not least, when it comes to that, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classified video. Don't go anywhere. You stayed this long. You like this type of content. Up here, I'm going to drop the Naga Hide video, and here is a playlist of the G.I. Joe classifieds. Take care.